So this was the sixth day and the last hour.
Oh, you're
So it
kidding.
was bases loaded with 2 outs. It
Yeah.
was the end no matter what.
Welcome back to A Classic. I'm your host, Dan Muntz. Apologies for my absence lately. We've been flat out with the website trying to get that up and running. It's coming very, very soon. And a big thank you to Jack Acrop as well for getting a bunch of podcasts done over the last few months. He's going to continue to do his wild surf related podcast into the future as well. So thank you, Jack. But without further ado, I'm going to kick this lot of stories off with an absolute nightmare of a story. My guest essentially won a bill fishing competition, and in the process, he stood to win $3.5 million US, only to have it ripped away from him because of some nibbles on the fish. So, Bailey Gore, welcome, mate, and thanks for coming on.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Look, mate, take me back. Tell me a bit about this competition because $3.5 million US, that is enormous.
Is
that like a standard prize? What's going on there?
It's one of the largest billfish tournaments in the United States. And there was, I forget how many boats, 260 maybe that entered.
Whoa.
So yeah, a lot of boats, a lot of money.
So that's obviously a big prize pool, but is, multi-million-dollar fishing competitions sort of standard there?
I don't know if I'd say standard. There's probably 10 or 12 a year that are in the millions. So there's quite a few, but not everyone's in the millions.
So tell me about this particular comp. What competition is this? And give me a bit of background there.
It's called the Big Rock Blue Marlin tournament. It's based out of Morehead City, North Carolina. I think we were in I can't remember how many years, but it's been going on for a long time. And it's grown to be one of the largest and one of the best run tournaments out there.
And so how do you get access into this tournament?
Pretty much anyone can enter. I joined on with a bunch of other guys. It was a charter boat that was selling shares of the tournament. So pretty much anybody could fish it. As long as you had the entry fees, you're good.
Do you mind if I ask what the entry fees were?
So the entry fees for the whole boat were around $70,000, I believe. And each person, the way the boat did, they sold 24 shares at like $3,000 a person. I think entry fees were like 50 something thousand, and the rest of that was to cover fuel and charter and all that stuff. So that's how all that kind of worked out.
So the entry fee for the competition's about $50,000.
I think 50, 55, somewhere in there.
Yeah, it's quite a bit of money.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, a lot in
yeah, isn't it?
It is.
So you actually said, I read an article. I tried not to read too much up on this, but I did read an article where you said you're not out there with a bunch of money. You're all just essentially working class men out there trying to have a good time. And we're all about that. But do you want to give me a bit of background on the crew that you actually went out with?
Yeah, so I was fishing on the Sensation, stocked there in Morehead City, owned by Ashley Blue and run by Greg McCoy. He's the captain. And I saw a post on Facebook. I think it was day of the Super Bowl. And I was like, that'd be a good idea. I'd like to fish that. So I got talking to one of my buddies, Will Horvath, and we got talking back and forth and said, let's do it. So we both texted Greg and said, we're going to sign up for a day and let's try it.
So it was you and one mate. Is that right?
Yeah. Me and one. That was the only person I knew on the boat. I've never met anybody else there before. It was really a conglomeration of just a bunch of random dudes.
Yeah. Cool. And you said, was there 24 dudes on there?
So there were 24 shares. There were a couple of guys that fished multiple days. There were probably 15 or 16 different individuals.
So take me back to that day then. So you booked in, lined up. Take me back to where it began.
Yeah, so I think I got up at like 3:30. Got all my stuff together, headed to the boat. I think we left about 5, and headed out, running probably 2.5 hours out there, getting ready to start fishing.
So how did you end up on the end of the rod that day? Because I imagine when you're paying that kind of entry fee and you're not getting that many fish, obviously.
Yep.
How did it work out to be you on the end?
So there's 6 hours of fishing each day and 6 guys on the boat.
How many days did this comp run for, sorry?
It is 6 days, but each boat can fish 4 days.
Okay, and you just make the choice.
Yeah, you pick which days you want to do.
Okay, so sorry, 6 guys, 6 hours.
Yep,
per
so everybody pulled out of a hat an hour, and it actually wasn't my time to fish, but in the mass chaos of everything going off, I was inside asleep, believe it or not. Taking a little nap. We were I think the tournament had 45 minutes left. So the tournament ends at 3 o'clock, and it was 2:13 or 2:14 when the rod went off. So everybody's out there clearing lines. I stumbled out the door out of my nap, and the reel was going off. The mate looked around, and he saw me standing there with nothing going on. I said, "Get in the chair," and just kept telling me, "Get in the chair." So that's how I ended up there.
How good's that?
Kind of crazy.
So, like that Blue Marlin, if I read right, was about 135 pounds bigger than the next closest fish. Like, what was the total weight of that?
It was 619.4 pounds.
Yep, which obviously must have been a hell of a fight.
Yeah, it was.
Take me through the fight. How did that all plan out? Because I think there was a few of you actually jumped on the rod.
Yep. I stayed in the chair for I think 3.5 hours. And then I was absolutely gassed. The fish fought good and hard for probably an hour and a half, 2 hours, and then it kind of just started dropping, just going straight down. So what we assumed happened was we're fighting the fish. Sometimes these fish have heart attacks. Their heart they extenuate so much energy that they just die. So we think we fight the fish. It died. It went straight down to the bottom at maybe hour 2.5, somewhere in there. And then we just started cranking on it I was in the chair for at least another hour after that, and just kind of trying to winch it up off the bottom. Greg kept trying to move the boat around and get the boat down current from the fish so the current would help pull the fish to us, but nothing really seemed to work much.
You just sort of dragged it up, I guess, and then brought it in dead. When you got it in, were you aware of this rule about mutilation and getting disqualified?
Yeah, so when we first pulled the fish in the boat, it was laid on the side. The bite marks, whatever they were down. So it was pretty side up. So for a little bit, we had no clue. And then we rolled it over to put it in the bag, the fish bag, to keep it cool.
Yep.
And that's when we saw it. And we saw the bites. We weren't real concerned because mutilation, in my opinion, mutilation is you're missing a major part of your body. You're missing a leg or an arm. A little small bite mark, smaller than the bottom of a paint can. In my opinion, I didn't think that was mutilation. We really weren't too concerned with that rule applying, just because of the interpretation of mutilation, I guess.
What did it actually look like caused them? Because I think you had some about midway down and then some around the tail.
Yeah, the ones right on the tail.
Tail was still there.
I think it had got tail wrapped at some point. I think that's the ones on the tail. That's what those came from. Because it did look like it had gotten sliced there. And the other one was it was about that big around. Just pretty much a perfect circle taken out of it. I guess it looks like a bite mark, but I'm not really sure. There wasn't you couldn't see teeth marks or anything. It was just like a missing spot.
Did it look recent? Like it was during the fight or when you brought it up, or was it
It never bled, so it's really hard to tell.
Right.
Who knows? I have no way of knowing. But it never bled one drop out of that bite mark, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, it didn't look. The pictures I saw were a little bit blurry, so I will try and find a better definition picture. But it didn't look like it would impact the fish fighting in any way, which I think is what the rules sort of aimed at, if I'm right.
Yeah,
like if it loses a tail, obviously, it's not going to fight to a full capacity.
Yeah, it's IGFA rule. It's the way the rule was written. It was an excerpt from the IGFA rules. It wasn't actually a tournament rule that was speaking to the mutilation. And the tournament is not actually an IGFA tournament. It uses some of the rules, but not all the rules. And that's why we were allowed to pass the rod back and forth there towards the end, is because it was an IGFA tournament. If it was, the same angler has to stay in the chair the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
I definitely couldn't have done it without some help.
Not in that amount of time.
No.
So actually, back to that, you said there was only about 45 minutes left of the day. So you just have to hook the fish before.
Yep, as long as you're hooked up within that before 3 o'clock, you're good.
Right.
And we fought that fish, I believe, till, let me get this right. Yeah, like 8:30.
Wow.
Yeah, hooked up right at 2:15.
Yep.
And went for 6 hours and some change. But yeah, the whole time we were hooked up, people kept radioing in asking the tournament director, Randy Ramsey, the sensation still hooked up. Sensation still hooked. It went on all evening.
Yep.
And one cool little bit, Randy Ramsey is the tournament director, and he actually built the sensation. He owned a company called Jarrett Bay Boat Works, and that was his first boat he built, and built it for himself. So that was kind of a cool story. Them get to talk back and forth all day to each other and texting Randy about everything.
Yeah. Well, I guess so. You've landed this fish. Obviously, it's a giant. Did you have any clue of where you stood in the tournament at that point?
Yeah, we knew that nobody else had weighed a fish that day. And as soon as we pulled it in, everybody gets a tape measure when you enter the tournament. And it comes with a little chart telling you what the length, you measure the length and girth, it gives you a rough estimation. So we knew the fish should be well over the 500 mark. The other fish was 428, I believe, or somewhere in the low 400s. So we knew we had it as soon as we got in the boat. We knew for sure that it was it.
And where did this stand in the days of the tournament? So if it went for 6 days, obviously everyone had 6 days to catch something better. Where
Yep.
did you stand?
So this was the 6th day and the last hour.
Oh, you're
So it
kidding.
was bases loaded with 2 outs. It was the end no matter what.
So you had the money. You had the money in the bag.
Yeah, we were for sure.
So I hate to dig up the old wounds, but what did that feel like? $3.5 million US. You said you're not out there fishing like a lot of. Obviously, there's a lot of money in fishing for a lot of people.
Yep.
You're out there working class. $3.5 million is life changing money, even split between.
For sure. Yeah,
people.
Yeah. Each share was like but worth about 115,000.
Yep.
So that's definitely not crazy life changing money, but it would have been good.
It would have helped.
Yeah, we wouldn't have worked for a couple weeks. That's for sure. Yeah, it was a great feeling. We all partied coming in, had a great time. Not a care in the world. Everybody's having a good time.
As you would be.
Yeah.
Hell of a fish anyway. So you got it in. They weighed it straight away. Take me through that process.
Yep. So we back into the dock there where they got the scales, and there's thousands of people around the dock, coming to watch this fish get weighed. It was a party there for sure. We back in, hook it up. They bring it up on the scale. When we were hooking up in the boat, the weighmasters were kind of looking around like, I don't know, just kind of seeing what was going on. Started getting a little fishy. They talked about not weighing the fish for a little bit. And then the crowd they were going to go crazy if they didn't weigh this fish. Because once they got it hanging, you could see it. You could see it was big. Everybody assumed it was going to be a winner, but you don't know till they announce the weight, I think they didn't want to weigh it, but they were kind of forced to by the crowd.
Right.
In my opinion.
That's obviously because of the bites and the scratches on it? Is that why?
Yep, that is.
So they had a bit of an idea straight away that there could be an issue?
Yep, there could be.
So they weighed it. So then, I guess unofficially you're the winner?
Yep, unofficially. They were saying they had to do some investigating that night, see what happens.
Let the crowd disperse.
Yeah, I think that was part of it. Had to get everybody out of there because it was getting rowdy. We didn't get back in until like 11:30, 11:45, somewhere in there. So it was getting rowdy for sure.
So then, how did they break the news to you? Obviously, it's not something easy to ring up and tell you about.
Yeah, they kind of left us hanging that night and said there'll be a decision made tomorrow. Everybody go home. So we were kind of left all night with no real answers. They didn't announce anything. I think they put a post on Facebook that next morning at like 8 or 9 a.m. And the captain, each captain has to take a polygraph test if they're going to be suspected to be the winner.
Is that right?
Yeah, but they made that announcement before Greg was finished with his polygraph test. So they'd made their minds up, but it was what it was.
And so that's how you found out a Facebook announcement.
Yeah, that was it.
That hurts.
Yeah, it does. I'm sure they called Ashley, the boat owner.
Yep.
But I guess they did. I can't remember. We talked about it, but it's been a while. But yeah, most everybody found out through Facebook.
The people who got the second highest fish, the obvious winners now.
Yep.
Did you know them at all?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I've never met any of those guys. I think they're from up north of us a little bit. But
okay. They
definitely caught a good fish, but wish ours would have done it, Nothing on those guys, we have nothing against them at all. It's a tournament and it's part of it.
Did you dispute it or anything, or you just left it? And
yeah, the boat owner, Ashley Blue, they did dispute it for a little bit and went back and forth. And I know each side had their lawyers working on it, but I'm not. I kind of stayed out of all that. That wasn't my cup of tea. I was just there to have a good time.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's been sweet to come home with some money, but it wasn't the end of the world.
Lifelong story, that one.
Yeah, we definitely got a story. That is for sure.
So I guess where do you go from here? Like, do you move on, leave it in the past and tell it as a cool story, or are you going to fight it further, or you just get on with it?
Yeah, I mean, that ship's kind of sailed now. The tournament this year is in 2 weeks, I believe. So we're gonna fish it again and see what happens.
Didn't give you a free ticket or anything?
I didn't get anything out of the deal. Nothing. Got a T-shirt. That was cool.
Did ya?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's something, I guess.
That's right.
For the $3,000.
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah.
I think we were gonna get that either way, though. So.
Yeah. So the next comp you said is in a few weeks, is it?
Yep, I believe it's the second week in June it starts.
Okay.
It's coming up pretty soon.
Fingers crossed you get it this time. If you do, mate, we'll have to have you back on.
That's right. I'd love to. Yeah, I hope we do.
Yeah, definitely. No, that sounds great, mate. And look, anything else you want to add about the day, about the comp, or about yourself at all?
Just it's a great tournament. It's absolutely awesome for our area, for Morehead City. Brings a ton of people in and a lot of good publicity, I feel like. Can't say enough about the tournament. It is very well run, very well organized. Everybody has a great time. If anybody's down that way, come by and check it out. It is always, the whole week's a good time. There's always something going on. Definitely looking forward to fishing it again.
Yeah, good stuff. Now, mate, if I'm ever over there at the time, I'm going to have to come down and check it out for sure.
Yeah, you need to come over.
It does sound like a good time.
It'd be awesome.
That's a good idea. Maybe I'll get in next year and get in the comp with you.
That's right. We can get you hooked up.
Well, mate, look, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. And it's good to see you in good spirits about it all.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, that sort of thing can go either way. So it's good to see you in good spirits.
Yes, sir.
Epic fish regardless, and a great story. So, Look, Bailey, thank you, mate. I really appreciate your time.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
And for everyone else out there, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review. It all helps the podcast massively. And jump over to YouTube for all these stories in visual form, including the pictures, which we're going to throw on, which I'll dig up. And if you have or know of any wild story that needs to be told, then shoot us a DM on Instagram and we'll make it happen. But cheers, Bailey.
Sounds great. Yeah, thank you for having me.